Oh man, where to begin? First off, let me go ahead and say, in case you guys haven't known, there is this huge case with Luka slash this name. So I have no idea how you say that name. Like, how do you say that correctly? I don't know how you say that correctly, but let me go ahead and bring a few things a notch. Okay, so let's start off with the girl. First off, this is no different than a toxic relationship, honestly. Like, it is no different from the toxic relationship that I have saw from my little eyes. You know what little Leo saw when growing up, a toxic relationship of her the mother that's my mother and her boyfriend. It is like up and down, left and right. They break up, they go back together, they break up, back together. It is I'm looking at what seems to be a mirror in this case. And the reason why I said this is actually a little bit more simple. I did a bit of digging and managed to come up with conclusions and say the reason why they're both bad is that one, she was basically grooming Luca. Like, I don't care if 18 is considered an adult. Here in America, it's considered minor. You don't, like, 18 is not grown here in America, okay? That's the thing that you have to some people fail to understand, is that it may not be considered, minor, like a minor, and I guess it's considered an adult where you know, where he's at. But here in America, it's completely different. That's a huge big no. No, 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 no. And she was already like over 21. So honestly, she groomed him. So she would basically approach them first with this type of issue. And she was already in a relationship with some other dude. I know some people think that will falsely accuse others of victim blaming, but let's be real here. She is just as bad as he is. Like, both of them are toxic, except Luca became more and more toxic as he got more fame when he joined Nijisanji. And let's be real here. You know that it's a miracle this woman ain't even arrested or let alone labeled predator, like sex predator, because honestly, in America, if they find that, they will find that shit, they will find that shit out quickly and label that person within a day. She would be treated like an outcast. Honestly, people are showing more pity on her because, like, look, if this was opposite gender, like if this was opposite, people would not sympathize. If roles were reversed, people would not sympathize people would sympathize with Luca not Luca. People would rather, if the roles were reversed, like he was older and she was younger, nah, they would have gotten onto him. Like, no mercy. Like, they wouldn't care if he was, abusive or he was abused. Like, they would not give him the time of day. They're giving this girl a bit of pity, which is, yeah, that's you like, no matter what, you don't do that. Like, apparently it's like double standards. If it's a woman, people's gonna show the sympathy. And that's the double standard here that I'm seeing right now. Like, people is not like, you know, like everybody's gonna ignore the fact that he was actually groomed and she's the groomer. And they're gonna sympathize with her more. Like, dude, you don't do that. At least equal rights, standard fights. Like, come on, y'all. Like, at least get on to her, at least, and don't let her off the hook just because she was abused. Like, she's no different than Luca. The most disturbing part is that she was already in a relationship with some other dude, and so basically she was two-timing, and that's just kind of bad. that's a red flag right there. Like red flag all over the place. Luka is no better, but let me go back to Luka. Okay, he was 18 and he was doing all this shit, and let's just say things were getting sexual, and I just did not like the fact that they did not put a boundary. Like, he didn't put a boundary, she didn't put a boundary. Like, dude, none of you guys even properly talked about boundaries. Like, don't do this, or let's not do this, or do that. Like, they didn't even talk. So basically, it was just a parasocial relationship. And it turned a little sexual here and there. And let me tell, and now, ever since Luka has joined Nijisanji, he was getting, more and more fame. Let's just say that he soon when he got older, the dynamic began to spiral. Let me say that the relationship was turning out of control, and he basically ghosted her. That's even a red flag too. Like, and honestly, if somebody ghosts me, I would straight up leave. Like, but as a black woman, let me just tell you that if you ghost a black woman, they'll take a hike. So, and let's just say in this case, honestly, I'm surprised the lady didn't take a hike. She could have used that chance to escape if you get ghosted. And let's not forget, Luka was basically, let's just say, harassing a few of the female co-workers. Basically, the other female VTubers. And honestly, that is kind of like a huge red flag. And let's not forget, he's been breaking all the rules. Yeah, it's just kind of really bad, honestly. And I'm just saying, they're both just as bad. And honestly, neither of them don't need sympathy. Let's be real here. So yeah, the reason I'm saying all this is because I've seen this type of toxic relationship before. It's just going on and on. They they break up and they get back together. It's honestly no different than the relationship with my mom and her boyfriend, honestly, which is probably why another reason why I cut ties with her, honestly. She was just too toxic. Both of them were toxic, honestly. And at this point, let's just say that two toxic people that are in a relationship, basically they just cannot be without the other, despite it going on and just off and on. It's basically a never ending cycle. This is kind of like this is basically what my grandma taught me when she witnessed this, and I asked her, like, why on earth is my mom and her boyfriend still together? Like, they keep breaking up, getting back together. Like, what's the point? And she said, Leo, sometimes when there's two toxic people in a relationship, they just need each other. It's just, you just don't understand. You'll never understand, because that's how bad their relationship is. Despite them hurting each other, they just can't be without each other, despite them hurting each other. And this is over the years, I began to understand what my grandma was saying. Like, these two are basically just added at each other's throats. They'll probably just separate, and then and sooner or later, probably in about a couple months or something, for a couple of weeks or a month, they'll get back together. And honestly, that relationship is just bad. It's just, they're both toxic, they're both bad. Red sirens all over the place. Police sirens, actually. Let's replace it with police sirens. So what I'm trying to say is, really, I'm trying to say this, and as a neutral person, both of them are in the wrong. Like, really. And neither of them needs sympathy, especially her. So she cut some people off because Luka made her to. So what? The same thing. My mom did the exact same thing. She cut a few people off, and she tries to cut me and my brother off, and she cut us both off, honestly, after that one accident. And I'm not gonna say. And let's just say, It is. It was pretty bad to the point that we literally cut ties with her and with her mom. That's how much of a rotten person she is. And we don't know the full story. Like, nobody knows who this chick is. Let's, like, come on. Who is she? Basically, a sex predator who thought she can at least have a bit of control in relationship. But soon when Luka got older, oh boy, he took the role. And honestly, I cannot see for the life of me why people sympathize with her. Like, literally, how can you guys bypass the fact that she was basically a groomer is beyond me. And let's be real here. The whole document was a huge mess. Oh my god. I had to pause because it was just that. It was awful. And it's just you don't sympathize with a groomer. Like, seriously. Soon when I found out that she groomed him first, I was like, nah, you don't deserve my sympathy. You do not deserve any pity. Like, you do not do that. You do not do that. Do not do that. Do not do that. It is just wrong on many levels, and she's just as toxic as Luka is. That's all is to it. I'm just saying my 2 cents because I know from experience and witnessed these toxic relationship, and it can get pretty violent. So I just say, just don't give neither of them the time of day. Because in the end of the day, they're just both awful people, both scumbags that deserve to rot in hell. Like, I don't care if she was dude, she was abusive, she was abused, he was abusive, he was abused. So basically, it's basically toxic relationship all over. Just toxicness everywhere. So yeah, this is my opinion, and if you guys are this upset because I am not sympathizing with her, honestly, if the rules were reversed and things were different, you would not be sympathizing with her. So yeah, that's all there is to it. So yeah, see ya, bye.